Hello friends, welcome to Kamath Astrology, and in this video I am going to cover one more important transit, that is Venus or Shukra is going to move into the sign of Cancer or Kark starting 22nd January 2021 and is going to stay there till 16 July 2021. So in this video let us analyze the impact of this transit in general. So now this is how the chart looks on 22nd June 2021. So on this date Venus moves from the sign of Gemini, where you can see the sun present represented by the letters SU, into the sign of Cancer or Kark Rashi, and he joins there with Mars or Mangal. So you can see these two planets circled in red, where V stands for Venus, MA stands for Mars. So what is the impact of this transit and why is it important? Usually Venus makes a transit into the next sign once in a month or 1 month and a few days. But this time this transit is very significant for India and the world in general. Now, what does Venus represent? Venus or Shukra represents partnerships. He represents married life. He represents luxuries. He represents comforts. Now, this Venus is entering into the sign of Cancer, which represents our emotions, which represents our mind. And in the sign of Cancer, Venus is getting conjunct with Mars. The sign of Cancer is the debilitation sign of Mars. That is, in the sign of Cancer, Mars becomes very weak. Another thing to note is that Venus is surrounded by malefic planets. What do I mean by this? On one side, we have the Sun, that is just in the sign of Gemini. Before the sign of Cancer, we have Sun. With Venus, we have Mars conjunct, and Saturn is aspecting this combination of Venus and Mars. What does this mean? This means that Venus becomes very weak, which means our partnerships, our relationships, our marital bliss, luxuries and comforts decline in this time period. There can be misunderstanding in relationships because Venus, the Karaka of partnerships, relationships, is afflicted and surrounded by malefics. Another thing to note is that Venus and Jupiter form a Shadashtak Yug. That is, Jupiter is 8 houses away from Venus and Venus is 6 houses away from Jupiter. And when a Shadashtak Yog is formed, it further adds to the misunderstandings. So in short, during this period from 22nd June till 16 July 2021, Venus is very weak, which means our partnerships, our relationships undergo certain misunderstandings, okay, and they suffer. Also, because Jupiter and Venus forms a Shadashtak Yoga, what this means is even if we receive wise counsel, we may take it in the wrong way. We may not listen to that good advice, and that will prove costly to us in the long run. So, if someone is giving you good advice, try to take that advice. Do not neglect it. It will help you in maintaining your relationships. Another thing to note is that Mercury or Budh is also with Rahu, and Mercury is nothing but our speech, our communication. It indicates various means of communication such as email, internet, mobile banking, and when Mercury is conjunct with Rahu, cyber frauds occur. Okay, and since Mercury is present in the house of Venus, that is in the sign of Vrishab or Taurus, cyber frauds will occur in this time period. And how will these cyber crimes offer? You may reveal something very sensitive to someone. Okay, for example, your internet banking password, your mobile banking credentials. Okay, you may reveal them to somebody via a phishing attack or something. Okay, so you have to be very careful in this month, that is from 22nd June till 16 July, especially when you are communicating with unknown people, because Rahu represents cheating, Mercury represents communication. Okay, and both these planets are present in the sign of Taurus, which is ruled by Venus is also very weak, which means cyber frauds increase in this time period. The next very important thing is the sign of Cancer is the third house in independent India's horoscope, and as I said, the third house is the house of valor. It also represents the country's borders. And because Mars is weak right now, Venus is weak right now, our relationships with our neighboring countries come under strain. This is particularly true because now Saturn is also aspecting Venus and Mars, which means that along India's border areas, there will be immense stress. There could be some kind of attack by countries, say, like China and Pakistan. Now, Venus also represents diplomacy. Okay, Mars represents the army, and Jupiter represents higher wisdom. Now, what happens is in this period, the diplomacy with the neighboring countries is not that strong, it is very weak, and therefore, the army, that is Mars, is not able to take strong decisions. And because Saturn is aspecting this combination, there is some kind of strain, some kind of misunderstanding, and this could lead to border disputes in this time period. So, this is the time when India has to be very careful, and you can expect some kind of border dispute, some kind of problem along India's borders in this coming month. Now, what is good about this transit? Everything that I said till now does not seem to be good. Okay, it seems to be all negative. But there is one good thing about this transit. If you see the fifth house from Venus, you have two divine planets in that house, that is Ketu and Moon. And the fifth house is all about love and devotion, and Ketu is about detachment. So, if you keep a detached attitude, if you develop immense love towards God, then you will get significant relief due to this transit. Ketu in the fifth from Venus teaches you to move towards God, to surrender yourself to the will of God. So, if you engage yourself in prayers, in service to mankind, then this transit will give you great benefits. Another thing to note is that starting 20th June, Jupiter also becomes retrograde. Saturn is already retrograde in the sign of Capricorn. Okay, and a retrograde Saturn is aspecting Venus, which means you need to introspect, you need to look back into your own karma. You need to develop the love for God, and then this transit gives you great benefits. So, friends, this is my short analysis of the Venus transit in the sign of Cancer. Now, if you like this video, please mark it as liked on YouTube. To know more about us, you can visit our website astroseva.tripod.com. For any queries, consultations, you can email us at astrosevaworld@yahoo.com, and we'll be glad to assist you. So friends, thanks a lot. We'll see you soon shortly with another video. Till then, bye, take care and stay safe.